Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Benediction Gamer aka Pokexebz back again with another video, and today, as you can see, is a continuation of my trainer trials in Scarlet and Violet, and today I'm going to be featuring a team known as Toxic Guard. So without further ado, let's get into looking at the team, and I hope you enjoy this video, guys and girls. So, getting into a quick rundown of the team, starting at position 1 we have Glamora, and position 2 Pokexebz. These are going to be the main two Pokemon we're running. Mainly going to be there to set up shields, ways to stall out the game, offer protection, and then also the main thing we're trying to do is poison the enemy so that we can operate Venoshock, which would then be operating at double power. And then in terms of the other 4 Pokemon, we've just gone for kind of 4 utility sweeps. So gone for the old faithful Mudsdale, Breloom because I like it, puts up good damage, Volcarona, everyone loves a Volcarona, and Salamence because he's a bad boy dragon. So hopefully this is going to be a decent team. As you can see, there's a rental code there if you'd like to try this one out, guys. Without further ado, we're going to get into the first game. We'll see how this team pans out, and I hope you enjoy this one, guys. And so we're loading into game now. Looking at the team that we're up against. So looking at the start, they've got a Kingambit, Hariyama, Torkoal, Meowscarada, Dragonite, and Farigiraf. So yeah, pretty useful team. Not one you're going to come up against all the time, although I have recently seen in the regional tournament last night someone running a Dragonite to pretty good effect. Kingambit also featuring quite a few teams. But yeah, and I'm a big fan of Farigiraf myself. Armatel, I think that offers a nice bit of protection against priority moves. So I think in time Farigiraf will be seen more in the meta. So we see me deciding my team here. Went for the old faithful 2, start the game, Glamora and Pokexebz, and then I figured the best 2 for coverage, damage coverage, was going to be the Mudsdale and the Volcarona against their team. So looking into the game now, so we're going to start Mortal Spin to try and get the poison onto both their enemies, set up my Venoshock nicely for the next turn, and then Toxic Spikes set up for anything that he trades in so we can get a poison on that, so that we don't have to waste a turn trying to poison the enemy. We've already got it set up and we can go straight in with a Venoshock. But then, as you'll see, the other beauty of this team is that it offers quite a bit of stall due to the fact that we can protect on both of these Pokemon, and also whilst protecting we also benefit another effect. So with Spiky Shield, if the enemy attacks us with a physical move, they're going to take damage, a slight bit of damage similar to Rocky Helmet, and then if the enemy attacks Pokexebz with a physical move, then they're going to be poisoned due to Baneful Bunker. So right now I'm going for that, and also at this point it offers me the ability to gain some knowledge on my team, my enemy's team. What sort of moves is he running? Due to the fact that he's burnt on his Hariyama, I'm believing that he's running Facade. As we see, I believe, yeah, he goes for a knockoff. And say, due to that being a physical move, he's taking a little bit of chip damage on there, so that's always nice. So hopefully we'll be able to take it down in the next turn. And due to he's obviously getting burnt as well, so that's another thing we'll stall out with. We're making his item work against him, which is always lovely. So at this point I'm thinking, right, I'm going to go for another Mortal Spin, try and get the poison onto the Farigiraf, so that now when I put a Venoshock onto the Farigiraf, it will be doing maximum damage. And also I believe the actually at this point Glamora is not going to move faster because I'm running Trick Room, so it was a good idea in principle, but then due to the fact that they were running Trick Room, not a good idea. So unfortunately we've just lost the Shell Well on our Glamora, which isn't great. It's also taking 2 attacks, but the damage wasn't fantastic. Still a reasonable bit of health. We can withstand a little bit, and we've managed to get poison out on the Farigiraf, so that's wonderful. So we're going to see what happens next turn, and also taking more damage on that Hariyama. Potentially we're going to be able to stall our way out to just getting the Hariyama off the field. So at this point, yeah, again, level of toxicity rises. We're just going to keep putting in the Baneful Bunker and the Spiky Shield each other turn when we can. just buy some time, get the health down on their enemies, and then when we bring the sweeper, etc., should be able to take them out one hit, no problem. And I say because that's why one reason I went for the two sweepers that I've gone for this time, the Volcarona and the Mudsdale. Should be able to bring them in if I time my moves correctly. Say run a Baneful Banker or a Spiky Shield, get off an Earthquake, damage both their opponents without damaging myself, which is always going to be nice. And then I actually can't remember if Heat Wave does. So Volcarona has Heat Wave. I'm trying to remember if that damages your ally. But either way, we could do the same principle on that. And I say whilst yeah, it's not always critical. I think a Pokemon that can damage both Pokemon at the same, both enemies at the same time, you know, it means always helpful component to be running in a team. So I'm going to see how do I decide to play this next turn. So obviously we've used our Protect, so a little bit more vulnerable now. So I'm thinking, okay, let's switch out Glamour, otherwise he's probably going to go down. We'll try and save it for later in the game. In case we need to stall out a little bit further. I also think we've bought a few turns on this Trick Room. So you see, I favoured to go for the Mudsdale with the, as I said, well, like I've previously discussed. So I picked the Mudsdale because I feel that I can Venoshock this turn into the Farigiraf with the knowledge knowing that next and do a fair bit chip damage, with the knowledge and knowing that the next turn I can put a Baneful Bunker onto my Toxapex, and that I can then use a Earthquake on Mudsdale if it was, well, it does survive as we see, which is lovely. Beauty of stamina. Keep it going, boy. And then yeah, so we can Earthquake, hopefully take out both their Pokemon and not damage ourselves. So very useful. And as we Twisted Dimension turned to normal, so I managed to bear, due to that, the option of the double Protect and being able to stall, we've managed to make their Trick Room fairly useless. The other fact as well, when you put Trick Room up, Toxapex would always be first, so it was relatively beneficial to myself. Yeah, so I believe I've gone to, well, I was debating Terrestrializing for the extra power, but then I was also a little bit scared that the Mudsdale may be taken out before getting the Earthquake off, so I voted against it in the end. I think I've just gone for a standard Earthquake, thinking that's going to hopefully do enough damage. And now I feel like Hariyama had predicted right and gone into the Mudsdale. Perhaps he would have got a kill there and not had to take that. So yeah, lovely, double bit of chip damage. Managed to get the Farigiraf off the field, and Hariyama's not sitting pretty, especially after taking that further burn damage. So we're going to see what is the opponent bringing in now, and how am I going to play this. So I know I've used my Baneful Bunker, that's not up this turn, so I'm going to have to go on the offensive, and with Mudsdale, not a lot of health left, and I know Hariyama's outspeeding me. The good chance is that this Kangambit's probably going to outspeed me as well, but we shall see how the play goes. So I think at this point I don't want to run the Earthquake, I don't want to put damage into the Toxapex, although potentially could. So I'm going to run the high horsepower, just go for the single target move. Always the favourable thing, but and I'm debating, I don't know if I want to lose the Mudsdale at this point, so I'm debating, do I go for another switch? If I switch into Volcarona, what's the chance of them taking it out? So yeah, so favoured for the high horsepower, run the risk. If they take out the Mudsdale, they take out the Mudsdale. But primarily we've still got our Toxapex up. Oh, see, stamina, it just does so good, man. I think in other circumstances that Sucker Punch is definitely killing me, but we had the +2 defense from already taking a couple of bashes, so Mudsdale for me, top rated Pokemon. I think guys is one, if you can incorporate it into a team, definitely get it in there. When it's paired with a screen setter as well, absolutely fabulous, as you may have seen from one of my previous videos. If not, potentially go check that out, guys. Puff Screen, one of my favourite teams to run at the moment. I think as far as it goes, that would be the team that I'm looking to focus on taking into ranks. I want to finally finalise the composition that I'm going to be running. And it's a great one. So you can see Glamora back into the field, and at this point it looks like we've got a special message from Dr. Abdul, so take it away.
If you want to know one thing, this right here is cancer.
So as you see, at this point I went for the double protect again. I probably didn't need to do it at this point, but the level of toxicity is there. Well, I can do it. Let's do it, guys. Get the toxic guard up. So yeah, Baneful, Spiky Shield up again. Let's see what he's going to do with his team. Due to the fact that King Gambit is a physical hitter, then we know if he goes for Glamora, he was going to take a bit of chip damage, which lovely, that's what's happened. So hopefully that is enough. Well, it would have broken a sash if he was running a sash. That's the other nice thing about setting up with a Spiky Shield. For instance, like I've run against Meowscarlet running a sash very often at the moment. So yeah, it would have been a great play against a lot of that opening that I've been playing against. So we see it going for a mortal spin. Evidently not a good play. But I'm thinking at this point, I feel the game is fairly safe, depending on how much damage we can put out and what kind of damage we're going to be taking. I think it all comes down to the next speed matchup. As I say, I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be outspeeding that Torkoal, and that we're going to be able to take that down next turn. Not necessarily even having to take it down, potentially just Baneful Bunker and let the poison do the work. No, might be a sliver away from taking it away on the poison. So at this point, yeah, fingers crossed Larry the Volcarona can come in and get the job done with his Heat Wave. We're going to Baneful Bunker just for the sake of it, I believe. Because who doesn't want to get up the Toxic Guard when you can get up the Toxic Guard? We say, you shall not pass, you shall not enter. You're barred from this club. I'm forever playing against opponents that like to take time with their turns, you know what I mean? There's a certain amount of time needed in a turn, don't get me wrong. But not 35 seconds every turn, my friend. Beautiful amount of damage on there, so hoping at this point next turn we're going to be able to take out. It's not done enough damage, so yes, we're going to be winning that speed matchup. We know next turn this Volcarona should be taking out. I've gone for a Bug Buzz just for the sake of it. Unfortunately, I don't have a move I can use on the Toxapex. That is somewhat unfortunate part about this, and as we see, they ran away from the battle because they knew they were going to lose. So that's the Toxic Guard team, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been very fun shooting these ones for you, so let me know if you enjoy these ones, guys. And not sure what team I'll be coming back with next, but I will catch you in the next one, guys. And always keep it holy. Peace out.